Hey, I'm Shane with Shane Sundong here today with Ashley, one of the attorneys here at Shane Sundong. We want to talk about one of her recent client victories she received. So Ashley, tell me about this particular case. What happened in PA's case?
Stereotypical accident. She's going along, someone ignores a stop sign and ends up hitting her right in the side.
Did the other side accept liability right away, or was it one of these where they fight about it?
No, it wasn't a fight, which was great.
Okay. That's always wonderful. That's always one of our fears on a stop sign case.
Yeah.
So in this particular case, how are injuries at the scene?
Not terrible, but there was a big concern. She was pregnant at the time.
Okay.
So, you put aside anything you're feeling, you just need to check on the baby and make sure they're okay.
Yeah, and a lot of times we see with pregnant moms, they'll worry so much about the child, they don't do any treatment for themselves. Unfortunately, a lot of times it seems like the medical profession steers them towards their OB as like all their care, which OBs aren't really great for back and neck issues whatsoever.
No, they're not.
They're mostly there to take care of the baby.
In part, I can understand it. There could be a liability trying to treat a pregnant woman, trying to make sure you're doing something that's not going to affect the baby while helping mom. But in our case, we don't push her along saying, oh, well, that's just it. We'll wait till she has the baby. And okay, does that pain go away? No. And it didn't. So we got her into some care that was more for her neck and back than for OB-GYN.
All right. And overall, what were her injuries throughout the case?
Primarily neck and back, what we normally see. Nothing significant. The big significance we found here, though, and ironically it is related to baby, mom ended up with gestational diabetes following the accident.
Okay. And what is gestational diabetes?
So it's just diabetes that's caused by pregnancy. It typically lasts the duration of your pregnancy, and then you're more high risk for developing actual diabetes down the road.
A lot of times I've seen some cases where they end up on bed rest or they much restricted in activities and things like that. If that happened or no?
That's exactly what happened to mom. They wanted her to limit what she was doing just to not stress her body out any more than what it was.
All right, now a ton of people get gestational diabetes who aren't in car wrecks. So why was that related to our car wreck?
So I honed in and did a lot of medical research trying to see, because this woman's had other children before, and this has not been an issue in the past.
Which is a huge part of it.
Yes. Your own anatomy plays into a role. She didn't have any factors that would have contributed or makes her at higher risk of developing it.
Okay.
So I just started digging and was like, listen, this is unusual. I might be grasping at something here, but it doesn't hurt to look.
Yeah.
Glad I did. I found a couple of medical journals, so some good published peer-reviewed studies that show stress is a huge factor in developing gestational diabetes. And if you've been in an accident, you realize just how stressful it is.
So it's not just like the woman's body or something else. It can just be stress.
Yeah. So like your cortisol levels are higher, affecting hormone balance. It's going to mess with a few different things. And like I said, it was a stretch. I found maybe 2 or 3 articles out of probably dozens that I read, but it doesn't hurt to try and submit it with the insurance company.
And if 2 or 3 peer-reviewed medical journals have related stress from a car accident.
And one of the journals specifically related it from a car accident, which was helpful for us.
Because that means somebody out there ran a study, or at least combed over everything and said, yeah, this is an issue. This is real. And then got it published in a peer-reviewed article, right? I'm guessing it wasn't in a, just an internet blog.
No, it's a scientific journal. I won't rely on blogs. The insurance companies would laugh at us. But it worked. It was successful. When I spoke with the adjuster as we were negotiating, I wanted to see how they responded to it, and it was something she had to sit down with her supervisors and review it, but ultimately it was something that they took into consideration in offering us a really good settlement, which was great.
Did you just have to talk to them about this study, or did you actually have to provide it to the other side?
I provided it. I did that out the gate. I had a feeling that it was going to be a long shot, so I wanted to kind of come in backed up instead of making it look like something and then fight over it. It's going to cost the client time. And oftentimes insurance adjusters don't like to re-review what they've already done.
Right.
So, I figured this is our best shot to do it. Let's do it now and attach the journals all with everything we sent first time around.
And it sounds like it worked.
It did. We got a very good settlement, and a huge part of that was the research.
And how did mom feel about all of it?
She was elated, in part because from the beginning I was telling her it was a stretch. Even she was like, I didn't relate it to car accident. I didn't think twice that they could have been related. And I said, well, you were significantly stressed, and then being bedbound makes you even more stressed when you got kids.
If she hadn't had other children in the past, then I think it would be something that it would be harder to notice.
It would be harder.
But if she'd had healthy pregnancies the whole time, no issues, and then bam, this is the only thing that's different.
Yeah. It's not that we can't make the argument with someone who's a first-time mother, but it's going to be harder to make because you can't show a pattern that this is changed from.
Right, and we run into that same issue like miscarriages and things like that. You've successfully carried 3 or 4 children a term, and now you don't. That's, evidence of, like you said, there's higher cortisol, maybe an injury that nobody noticed, things like that.
Yeah, it worked out really well, though. Mom was happy.
It sounds like she was. It sounds like she was fortunate you noticed it when you were talking to her and dug in and found the research to prove it. Great job. I know she was happy, like you say.
She was, and just to let everybody know, mom and baby are both healthy and happy.
That was the follow-up question. Is the baby totally okay?
Yeah, baby's all good. Everybody's good. Mom no longer has gestational diabetes since delivering the baby, but she is going to have to watch out now for the rest of her life as it makes her more high risk. So there are
almost the risk for anything later on because you've had it.
Exactly.
Okay. And there's not something you can just take a pill and that's going to go away.
No. Just got to be careful moving forward.
Well, it sounds like she was very lucky to have you as her client, Ashley, and sounds like you did a wonderful job and took that extra step to do that research and prove your point, prove the injury for the client. So
it was a fun victory. We had some discussion going around the office whether or not it would stick. So it was kind of fun to show some of my colleagues like, yeah, we're able to make an argument out of this.
I think anytime you have a peer-reviewed article, it's medical journal article, it significantly increases the likelihood of success.
Yeah.
Great job. For all of our listeners, hit like and subscribe down below for more client victories from Shane's of Thought. And remember, Charlotte, if you're in pain, call Shane, 980-999-9999.
In pain, so I call Shane, 980-999-9999. In pain, call Shane.